yeah. So okay. So Armyverse spoilers. Sure, you've all seen it. If you're here looking at the theories, but okay, let's just go through all these pretty quick. Vandero and Korina seem to be the only ones hinting at something deeper going on in this universe, and Dieter is in the middle of it all. He makes fun of the previous heist team that failed and doesn't think much of the nightmares until he's told otherwise. That's why we're saying that Korina and Vandero very much are pointing out deeper things for Dieter's dreams or his jokes. Then, of course, the scene that what backs up this theory of time loops is Vandero himself. Is it another team or is it us, Dieter? Think about it. Look at them. It's us, Vandero said in Army of the Dead. It could be us in another timeline. We're caught in some infinite loop of fighting and dying and fighting and dying. Tanaka, he's the puppet master, the devil or God. Me, you, Guzman, and the rest of the team are simply pawns in some perverse play where we're destined to repeat our failures. Like, there's definitely something going on with Tanaka, and I think he could be related to the experiments that were going on with the zombies. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, because he's a sketchy character. He popped up in Army of the Thieves. He owns that casino. He wanted this specific heist team with Scott Ward to go into Vegas. Why them? I don't know. So I don't know. You want to add to that, Steve?
What?
You have anything to add to Bly Tanaka maybe being got to do with the experiments of the zombies? Or anything
No,
like that?
that's it. I think we talked about that in one of our videos, why there were these political figures in his house when he was recruiting. There's definitely much more to it, but we don't know exactly what. I think we will figure that out in the animated prequel. He definitely has to be in there.
Yeah. And then like the next thing that kind of backed up some of the time loop theories was Zack Snyder himself, because in a scene, Scott Ward, they come across dead bodies, they come across the blueprints that they have. The other team had them. Yeah, another set of blueprints to the safe. Tanaka had other teams here before us, and Zack Snyder had this to say about that. There's a chance. I'm not saying that it's 100% true, and in some way it's not. But the group at the table, I mean, it's pretty subtle, but that's them also at the table. They get farther every time. Possibly is the time. This is the time they made it all the way to the money, the fourth timeline. And this was kind of what we talked about earlier about the Matrix parallel. Korina, in response to Dieter's two dreams about zombies, maybe they're prophecies, not dreams. Maybe you saw your own dead. Just like Vandero, you see something deeper in it all. Krypton Cage thought Cypher. I thought Neo, in terms of hackers, on revealing something deeper. We'll see if that theory comes back in future projects. Vandero did study philosophy and has an Omega tattoo. The superior zombies like Zeus are referred to as alphas, and it does look like Zeus and Vandero, Zeus the alpha, Vandero the omega, have met before in another timeline, because if you look at that shot right there where they're getting ready to fight, it looks like that they know each other big time. And at the start of the movie, Zack Snyder makes it very important to pinpoint a picture of a young Vandero graduating from college with a degree in philosophy. And also, I think there's another theory, if you look on the channel, where the first time we meet, not the first time, but the first time kind of Scott Ward recruits Vandero is he's in a pool with an older person, and there's a bigger theory. Just go search for that in the channel. It's pretty interesting. The theory is that the Armyverse has 4 different timelines, which the number 4 has come up in a lot in the 2 movies. Maria's necklace in the 3rd timeline has 3 holes. In the 4th, which is the one they succeed in, it has 4 holes. A previous team failed not just once, having dreams or prophecies of the future. That goes back to Korina, it goes back to Dieter having the dreams, the number 4, or 3 popping up a lot. Plus, the ending of Army of Thieves has a scene from Army of the Dead, with Dieter being recruited to crack the Goddardhammer safe. Same scene, just reused, right? No, just rewatch both scenes again, and they are very different. Army of the Thieves timeline is the one where they fail and all die. Vandero, the Omega, was bitten by the Alpha. What does that mean? The Omega is the next evolution of the zombie outbreak, not just the end. And the meanings for Alpha and Omega is meaning the beginning and the end. Example, I want to know the Alpha and the Omega of this matter. Goddardhammer safe, which is the last safe to crack for Dieter, which he does in Army of the Dead. In Army of the Thieves, the ring cycle is the Das Rangold, the Valkyrie, the Siegfried are all cracked. He believes the place he will be reunited with Gwen is in the Goddardhammer. And yeah, that's basically the last thing he says in Army of the Thieves, which is very interesting.
And also, this one line was said by Gwendolyn. If not, I mean, she basically tells him that we'll do it together. And then she says, if not, you find it for me, okay? You find the God of Amaranth. So he had to go.
Yeah, that's why he accepted Scott Ward's offer. It wasn't just money; it's for the God of Amaranth. But I also found interesting as well, like when Vanero such a bond together, and they kind of look at each other. They can escape the zombies, but then they decide to go back for the money, which is interesting as well. I did think, which also goes back to the Valkyrie in terms of what that means. Going for the riches, going for the money, the power, which in the end ends bad. Just like Gwen sacrificed herself to save the man she loved at the end of Army of Thieves, Dieter decides to sacrifice not only himself to save his friend, but in return sacrifice the chance to see Gwen again. So basically, Gwen showed Dieter, sometimes it's really more important to sacrifice what you want for somebody else that you love or your friend. He does something very similar, and the shot where Zeus grabs his face from behind is similar to the vision he has, or the prophecy he has in Thieves, where he goes into the safe away from the zombies, just like Andro. But
Look at Zeus looking from back.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows about the magical portals.
I don't know. Like, yeah, why Vegas?
Yeah.
Why Vegas?
Interesting.
Because the rest of the safes are in Europe.
Yeah.
The only other safe of Wagner's is in Vegas. And that's where the zombie outbreak begins. Yeah, so the sequel to Army of the Dead will be Planet of the Dead, where Zack Snyder has hinted we could see the return of Dieter, or at least see what happened to him. Vanero will return also as the next alpha. But I think the next evolution of the zombies is very different than the alphas that we have to see in Army of the Dead. Zack Snyder is also developing a sci-fi epic for Netflix. He hasn't confirmed it's in the same universe as the Armyverse. I think in Rebel Moon, it will actually be the origin of why Army of the Dead featured aliens UFOs. That's a big reach for me. It might not be. Rebel Moon could be the Star Wars of Zack Snyder's filmmaking, so it might not be at all. But it's just very interesting how a lot of this stuff has appeared in Army of the Dead. Snyder is also developing a Norse mythology anime series. Very funny how that mythology features the gods and Moors with them. What does the God of Amaranth mean again? The safe that was cracked by Dieter in Army of the Dead and the main driving force of his love in Army of the Thieves. Basically, it means the fight of the gods, the fate of the gods, the Ragnarok. So that's very, very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. But it doesn't stop there. A prequel to Army of the Dead is happening too, titled Army of the Dead Las Vegas. It will follow the cast from the film plus newcomers. Snyder has hinted that it will show the origin of Zeus, the zombie outbreak, and the cyborgs. And I basically said, I don't know if this is true, but that's a whole lot of coincidence not to mean something. It's not like Zack Snyder makes straightforward films anyways. There's always deeper things there. When you think you have it all figured out, you don't. Ring Cycle. That's Rheingold, the Valkyrie, Siegfried, God of Amaranth, created by Hans Wagner, who ended up creating one to lock away himself and his misery, to be never opened and dropped at the bottom of the sea. Dieter cracked them all. That's basically that's my our theories about the Armyverse so far.